Welcome to Synthaholics Games. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
I'm another host called Brian.
Hi, another host called Brian. Nice to see you.
Hi. I would like you to refer to me that as the entire time. The other host is Brian, or whatever I just said.
Well, the other host is Brian. We've got more stuff to talk about in the video game world today.
Video game stuff.
And a Synthaholics Games would not be complete without Microsoft. Another story about Microsoft, because why wouldn't Microsoft be in the news again?
What did they do this time, David? Did they do something different?
I gotta find the doll and show you where they touched me. No.
You have multiple of them.
Yeah. One for each different place Microsoft has touched me in the news.
Fired you from?
Yeah.
You keep getting fired from Microsoft, and then you're like, I'll just apply to a different position. They just hire you, and then you get fired again.
Yeah, so basically, the article's only from a couple of days ago, fresh from the layoff bloodbath that cost over 2,500 jobs, Microsoft is already thinking about dropping big bucks on more acquisitions. Why?
For those of you that are new around here, we've been covering the Microsoft layoffs pretty heavily, and I think almost consistently every 2 weeks, because we do this every 2 weeks, we're able to find Microsoft layoffs that are not like 2 or 3. It's always like over 1,000 people getting laid off every 2 weeks for Microsoft.
Well, I mean, like, this isn't a new layoff per se, but I mean, they have just recently laid off people more or less, because they've been laying off people a lot of the year.
And then all the bonus went to all the money they saved from laying off straight up just went to the CEO.
Oh yeah,
well, that's not even a joke. Like go look at how many people they fired and average out their salary, and then look at what the CEO's bonus was for this year. They're extremely close.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. And then it's just like, okay, they fired more people, and then it's just like, okay, we're gonna drop big bucks. Like, pay the developers you have to actually make games. For the love of God, Microsoft, please actually make games. Take Fallout from Bethesda, close Bethesda down, and let a studio that's competent make a Fallout game, because I don't trust Bethesda anymore. My trust in Bethesda is like in the negatives now. Microsoft, please.
Thank you. Oh, it's music. That's music to my ears.
I mean, I love Fallout, but Bethesda's just
but you don't like Bethesda now.
Oh, I mean, they haven't made anything good since Fallout 4, so...
Exactly. Join me.
Yeah.
Join me. I need you to join me on my path to ruin Bethesda.
I mean, Bethesda's doing the job on their own.
That is true. They are doing it on their own.
They are shooting themselves.
I think the moral of the story here is that Microsoft, can they trim some fat from Microsoft? Probably. They probably have too many employees. With that said, though, they're not making anything. They're not doing anything. All they're doing is just laying off people to like hit their quarterly quotas or whatever, and that's kind of slimy. So that's why we've been covering it. We're not fans of Microsoft anymore. Even though I know David is a huge Microsoft fan. I know you have like T-shirts and posters of just like the Windows logo. I remember when like didn't you like wrap your car in like the Microsoft logo? Just like that's what it's like on the hood.
No, I did it in Microsoft Chan, the hentai version of the Microsoft logo. Okay. So it wasn't really the Microsoft actual logo.
I get confused.
Microsoft Chan is a lot more attractive than the Microsoft logo. So so are we still have our friend in chat, and let's see, they're saying the women were well endowed. I think it was still in reference to Battle Chess, because the queen was pretty well endowed, like Lara Croft, our good old friend Lara Croft. So many good games.
You found somebody you can connect with Battle Chess.
Battle Chess, you gotta love Battle Chess, man.
Fan club of 2. Well, we need to find 3.
More Battle Chess. Brian, you must play Battle Chess now. You have to emulate it.
I have to emulate. No, I need the real thing. I'm going to go buy it on floppy or wherever I can get this from. And I want to experience it like you were able to.
Maybe at least try to find the CD version of Battle Chess, because the CD version had better graphics.
Okay. I still don't have a CD drive either. So either way, I have to buy like... Why can't if I were to play it, I would emulate it.
Yes. You should probably
legally, of course. Nothing ever illegal happens with me.
I can't even
ever.
remember who made Battle Chess. I don't remember if it was Interplay or some defunct studio now. I don't remember. It's
It's
been a
probably
long
defunct
time.
because back then, if you did bad stuff, you'd get like kicked out. Like you wouldn't be able to make money. I'm sure if they made if Battle Chess came out in 2020, they'd probably be on Battle Chess 5 somehow.
Yeah,
So,
probably. You know, Call of Duty 16,000.
well, Call of Duty games actually make a lot of money, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Somehow, I
that's
don't know.
just I just don't understand why they keep making money.
The bar is so we don't have we have our docket of what articles we want to talk about, but Call of Duties definitely have never been on there, and it's still not on there today. But I do want to say that the new Call of Duty came out, and the campaign is being like praised because it's like playable, like it's like
Oh,
like people are able to like play the campaign, so like this is like generational. This is the greatest campaign ever because it like you can play it this year. Other than in past years, it was just like a buggy mess with nothing makes sense, nothing works, assets don't load, textures don't load. So this year,
sounds
it's playable. So like this is we're making big moves here.
sounds like
This
Call of
this
Duty.
IP that has been around for 25 years has figured out how to make a playable campaign again.
Wow, I don't understand why people keep buying it.
Anyway, what's
we
our actual article? What do we have
Well,
next?
we got what you sent us earlier. It's an update from PlayStation Studios. Brian, take that away.
David, we missed out on the boat on Concord.
Oh, we
Unfortunately,
every single time we podcasted, it was like we were either too early or too late to get in on the amazing Concord news. Like Concord came about and got canceled in between
before we could talk about it at a good
podcast.
time.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, Concord came out. We weren't really tracking Concord, but we were aware it was happening. It came out. It got canceled in like 2 weeks. It cost like $400 million to make, and then the studio, which has this is now old news. This is like a half a month old, but the studio is now gone. Which I don't know. I feel bad for the studio. I'm sure I don't know. I actually don't really know much about the game other than the art looked atrocious. So I don't know. They're gone now though, so we don't have to worry about them anymore, David. They're not going to touch us.
I don't feel bad for the studio, mostly because apparently, like, I've been hearing rumors and reports of like toxic positivity. Like, they were so high on their own supply, they thought this was going to be the next Star Wars, and I think it was the next Star Wars in the way that Star Wars sucks now and no one likes it. I think they were thinking it'd be like the
That
old
is
Star
true.
Wars.
Disney
Where
Disney announces Star Wars games and then or not, they announce Star Wars movies and then cancel them before they even have a script. They literally just did that like last week. They had a movie slated for 2025 or 2026, and they've already canceled it. They've already removed it from their list.
yeah,
Of upcoming movies.
Disney's canceled more announced Star Wars movies than they've actually made.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Well,
What-
yeah, there's not much to talk about other than on that, other than like the studio. We've been covering Concord because we think it's a joke and we think it's funny, and now we are closing that chapter. We are closing the book on Concord, and it's no longer a thing.
Goodbye.
I agree. We need to, I salute them away. You were a wonderful piece of content that we turned into like
Memes.
3 or 4 times talking about.
Your game. We've talked about your game longer than your game existed.
And I think that's the best compliment we can give you.
That people are still talking about that flaming dumpster fire. Anyway,
Someday somebody will make like a 6-hour like video essay on why Concord wasn't that bad.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we'll watch it and we'll
I don't
report
know.
on it.
I don't know what footage they're gonna find because
They'll go on LinkedIn and find the developers of the game and they'll start interviewing them. They'll get into it and then they'll be like, oh, then there'll be a like bring Concord back type of thing. We'll go through the cycle, man. We'll go through it and we'll be there with you.
Well, Brian also sourced this article earlier. Riot Games hired Avengers directors the Russo brothers to help make a League of Legends movie, but reportedly paid them $5 million to walk away after script issues. Man, I need to go into script writing. If I can write a script so bad, they can pay me $5 million to walk away. Like,
Isn't that like
I'm in the
there's not
wrong
much,
field.
there's not much to that article other than in 2020, Riot Games hired the Russo brothers to create a script to make a movie based on their video game. After they made their script, Riot Games was like, "Wow, even for us, this is not very good," and they had to pay them $5 million to not go forward with it.
That's just
I would love to see what that script is. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it because what the Russo brothers did is after they made that blunder and made $5 million. Is it a blunder? I feel like it was just a good business move.
yeah, it sounds like a great business
like
move.
a good business move.
Writing a script so bad that they pay you to step away from the project. That is that is brilliant. Like I said, I'm in the wrong field.
We're all in the wrong field if we can just like write trash and get paid $5 million. But they went to Netflix. And now they have I think it's either out or is about to be out. It's like a robot apocalypse movie. I watched the trailer. The trailer doesn't look that good, but I also didn't know it was the Russo brothers that made it when I watched the trailer. So I don't know if that, I don't really have any bias. I just watched the trailer and I was like, ugh, this doesn't look good. So I don't know. Maybe the Russo brothers just don't have what it takes, but they did do the Avengers movies, which are, not bad. I don't love them, but they're not bad.
They did one of the Avengers movies.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, none of the Avengers movies are like trash. They're not bad.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make those Avengers movies because there's so many moving parts, and I'm sure there's tens of thousands of people working on these movies. I'm sure it's extremely difficult. So I don't want to like discount that. It's just funny that after the Avengers, you go and make stuff that's so bad that people pay you to not make away.
It. Yeah, that's just impressive. Good job, Russo brothers. For
good. I know you keep making smart business moves. I'm there with you.
For making amazing news.
Exactly.
Okay. You also sent me a report on the patent infringement from Pocket Pair.
Yes. So, David, how do you feel about patents? Because Nintendo loves them, and they patent everything that they do to the point where we've talked about this before, but it came out what they're actually suing Pocket Pair, the creators of that wonderful game we played earlier.
Power World! I love Power World.
It is like targeting systems. It is just default video game stuff that Nintendo technically could pretty much sue any studio that has ever made a video game based on these super broad patents. I don't understand how this is like how this is allowed. This is like, putting a patent on like a monitor, and then now anybody who makes a monitor, you can just sue and make money off because they made a monitor. Or I don't know. It's just like default, like how you have to make a video game. Like this is just how it has to work, and they're suing them for that. So I don't know. Maybe Nintendo can start suing every studio ever, because it feels like can they sue them back for like not evenly like suing everybody equally? Because if Nintendo owns this, they should be defending their patents and be suing every single studio that's ever put out a video game before. That's my thought.
I mean, personally, I think patents on like basic concepts in video games should be just illegal.
It doesn't feel
because they're
right.
like just general ideas, and
so
it's like putting a patent on X. Like it's.
That's pretty much what it is.
It's so like, dumb. It's just so dumb. Like I mean, renaming,
like putting a patent on how you hold your phone, or putting a patent on how to drink water. It's like this is just default. This is just how you have to do it.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. Like I've mentioned it before most times when we talk about patenting video game ideas. Like the entire Nemesis system is a brilliant system, but WB has a trademark on it or a patent on it, and they're like aggressively doing it, so no one can use that the Nemesis system. And it's such a cool idea. It's like literally the best idea that came out of the Shadow of War Middle Earth games. And
it's ruined now.
No one has used it since. Not even them in their other games. Like they've got so many. Like they could have had it in Harry Potter and the Hogwarts Legacy. They could have had it in so much stuff, and they just didn't. And I just don't understand why they're
locked away.
They have it locked away, and they're not even using their own amazing patent, which just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't feel right, but companies want to make money, so they'll just do whatever they can to make money. And who cares about the consumer type of thing?
But the thing is, like IP, sure, you put your intellectual property makes sense. Like you can't have it can't be Pokemon 1-to-1. It can't be, Warcraft 1-to-1. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you gotta like spin it off a little bit. I mean, speaking of Warcraft and/or StarCraft, both Warcraft and StarCraft are just a ripoff of Warhammer and Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if you get
So
down
they should sue.
if you get down to if you get down to brass tacks, I mean, Blizzard wanted to make a Warhammer game and they wanted to make a 40K game. They couldn't get the rights, so they just made their own Warhammer. I mean, because granted, the lore isn't as deep as actual 40K and actual Warhammer lore, and they wouldn't have made their own stuff. It's their own story. It's in a fantasy and sci-fi setting. That's fine because they made it their own.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that's IP. Like, IP, you should protect your IP in, your names and locations, stuff like that.
What X does on a controller.
Yeah, like, it's just, yeah, like, that's just the basics of games. And without the free market being able to, use ideas. I mean, I think, like, people tried to, like, I think back id tried to sue people for, like, using first person games because that was, like,
stupid.
a thing. And, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's just a genre. They pioneered it, but it doesn't mean no one should make a first-person shooter except id. It
I
just
agree.
doesn't make sense.
I agree.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, it's one of the patents that they're being sued for is using a controller. So it's I don't know.
Come on, people. Anyway, now let's just move on to our last article, which is just the cream of the crop, the Game
We're ending
Awards.
the Game Awards.
The Game Awards. So the Game Awards put out an FAQ, and there's one specific thing that Brian wanted to touch on for this FAQ.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is being talked about. This is just me going on the Game Awards website, and I was just clicking around. I don't have any like mystery sauce here, but apparently now
you've uncovered a conspiracy theory, Brian.
It is a conspiracy theory.
Let's just call it. Let's just say it is.
Let's go with it. Well, it's a conspiracy theory that now Game of the Year can be a DLC. How you feel about that, David? You want to play it? You want to play DLC?
I can't wait for the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Gun Pack 4 to win Game of the Year. Like, oh man, or Map Pack 3 or whatever. Whatever it happens to be.
I wish this would. I wish that would happen so bad. It would. The Game Awards would lose. I mean, I think that's a good argument to say why it loses legitimacy if you can just like nominate a weapon skin as a DLC.
I'm sorry, we're gonna nominate the Horse Armor, the first ever Bethesda DLC.
It was iconic.
It's iconic. It's the best. It's the best. It's the game of the century. That's the best. The Horse Armor.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. We're here joking around when the Game of the Year should be the best game of the year, not best DLC.
Not additional content. It's not the best additional content of the year. The best that could be its own category.
You know what I'm worried about now, though? The Elden Ring DLC came out this year.
Yeah, it'll probably win Game of the Year.
I think if it gets nominated, I think there's a good chance that'll win.
Probably.
But I don't think it should even be nominated.
No.
Elden Ring won already. It's done. We need to move on now.
Maybe Overwatch. Maybe the Overwatch Classic mode will win.
Yeah, Overwatch Classic just came out. I think that technically does qualify now because it. And Overwatch did win in 2016.
It's true.
Many people don't know that the Game Award of 2016 was Overwatch, and now what we consider Overwatch Classic has now just been re-released onto Overwatch 2. So I don't know. Does it qualify?
I mean, it's
a case by case basis where there's not really a rule where it's like we're just saying things so we can incorporate it if we want to, but we don't have to use it type of thing. Because technically, I don't know. Overwatch Classic came out that did win Game of the Year in 2016, so it should be top of the leaderboard.
Honestly, I just think we're in just a sad state of things. Like, this year has just been such a bad year for games that they're just desperate to have a larger pool to pick from.
They're gonna pick Elden Ring
because so many games this year were like flop busters. So many,
but there was some good stuff.
I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't, but it just seems like disproportionately bad games. Like, we've had Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, which I'm surprised is still running. I thought for sure that was going to crash.
I think they legally still have to keep it up.
Because that was also like a $200,000 or more loss. And then
It
we
was more than
had
200,000.
it was more than yeah, and then we had Concord, which was reportedly theoretically up to $400,000
Yeah,
lost.
there's
Like
tens of millions
we've
of
had
dollars lost
some
here.
major like just
Yeah.
flops. Starfield
Well,
shattered the Starfield Shattered Space expansion flopped. Like so much. It's just
well, if the base game is bad, why is the DLC gonna make it any better?
well, that's the thing. The DLC for Bethesda games usually
Oh
is
boy, here we
slightly
go.
stronger than the base game. Like Far Harbor
It
for
was
Fallout.
already trash in the first place.
Well, but yeah, but I mean, Fallout Far Harbor was a lot better than the base game. So usually the DLC, since they're smaller, more focused, they can tell a better story, but they didn't.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything controversial, but all I'm saying is like, it's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad. Either way, I think it's stupid that they're adding that stuff in. I think Game of the Year should be the Game of the Year, not DLC of the Year. If they
not
want to
the,
make a new category called Expansion or DLC or whatever of the year, cool with me. Fine. I have no problem with that. It's just when, you know, the name of what it is no longer only, I don't know. You know what I mean. Anybody who's listening knows what I mean at this point. Okay, you know what I mean.
yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me or not, but
But
hopefully
also,
you do.
just in general, speaking of the Game Awards, I don't intend to watch this year. I watched the entire Game Awards last year,
You
and
watched all 7 hours.
I watched all 7 hours. I was extremely
Dang.
disappointed. It was the most boring Game Awards ever. It was too long, and they didn't have enough good stuff to show.
Well, that's not the
Like
Game Awards' fault, though.
Country was they didn't have to do a 7 hour show.
Well, no, I'm saying like the trailers and stuff they were showing didn't seem to really like hit it with fans or anything. Because I don't know anybody who was like, I loved the Game Awards last time. I'm sure it's growing because more people are getting into gaming, but I don't think anybody watched those trailers. I think that's just what is coming out. That's just what is available, and it doesn't seem like many people are like blown away. But there's some games that are coming out. I mean, I can start naming them, but there are games that are coming out that are cool. It's just most of them don't look very good,
I'm not saying
or we don't have enough information.
I'm not
to know
saying
about
they
them.
aren't, but like it was just too long of a show.
They should have been more selective of what was being shown. I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff Knight or Keeley
Keeley.
or whatever, he knows video games. He knows what's problem. I mean, you and I can watch a trailer. I'm sure the same way he can, and we'll have probably a decent chance of knowing if this is going to be going to go over well with people who watch it or not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can watch a trailer and have an idea of how it's going to do. I don't just watch a trailer and think that's everybody's going to like it equally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he should do that too. I'm sure he has the skill to do it. He's been in video games and he knows more about video games than I'm sure you and I combined, since that's his life. Like he makes money doing it. So Game Awards, they come out on the 18th. The nominees. We'll see if there's any DLCs in the Game of the Year category, and then if there is, we'll let you know 2 weeks after it comes out, and if there is not, we'll also let you know 2 weeks after it comes out.
Yeah, so that sounds about right.
We're timely.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. So that's the video game stuff that we found interesting or we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. That's our video games, Synthaholic games. We'll catch you next time.
Like, wait, hold on, David. I got this.
Okay.
Big guy.
Okay.
All right. Like the goddamn video. Okay. I'm gonna need you to like it. You need to subscribe. You need to leave a comment. I personally, David will let me know if you leave a comment, and I'll address it next time.
Okay.
I'm not good at selling this kind of stuff because I don't really care too much. I just like talking about video games, but do that kind of stuff. So we
need engagement. Do the like and the subscribe and do all the YouTube stuff. We're just doing our call to engagement.
What is engagement? Never mind. We'll talk about it later. I don't know what is it gonna do? Like, does that make it show up better on people's recommended?
Theoretically.
Okay. So engagement equals it'll show up on people's like recommended. But if they don't watch it in the first place, how can it show up on recommended?
Magic. The algorithm. I don't know.
The algorithm knows all.
It knows all. So
Oh man.
liking, commenting, subscribing, and the bell icon are ways to make the algorithm. It tickles the algorithm, so the algorithm might sneeze out some of our videos. So
I like that.
so that's the way to think about it. So if you do that, that would help us out a whole lot, because the more we tickle the algorithm, the more it sneezes, the more faces it hits, and the more it spreads, just like COVID.
That's what we want to be. We want to be
Yeah,
we want to be the biohazard channel.
The biohazard. Well, I mean, I am sitting in a biohazard. Look at this green
I
background.
know, exactly. This is what we want. This is no.
Microsoft
We don't care about like
biohazard
actually.
company.
We don't want to make money. We don't want to. No, we don't care about any of this kind of stuff. We don't care about it. We just want to be a biohazard.
Anyway, that's us. The biohazard game news. Talk about
Duo,
stuff.
trouble.
Yeah, that's us. Trouble.
Yep.
Anyway,
Until next time, well, man, I don't know where we're going with this. Just have a wonderful rest of your day. Email David@Synthaholics@yahoo.com. If you leave a comment, I'd love to like fight you in the comments, but like it'll be on the next time. It'll be the next time we podcast.
I mean, Brian
Bye-bye.
keeps promising about fighting people, but it never does. So, I mean, hopefully he'll take you up on it this time. So,
am I supposed to physically fight people?
Oh no, you're supposed to fight with them in the comments. Do it.
Oh yeah, but some of the comments aren't even like they're not like they're not like worth it. It's gotta be like a word.
Okay,
battle.
you gotta make it worth Brian's time to fight him in the comments. So do your worst or your best. I don't know, whichever one. Anyway, I've
Make
been
fun
Dave.
of the way I look. No, that actually doesn't bother me. Make fun of my like ideas. Then that'll get me.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Bye bye.
Next time, until the next segment, guys. We'll see you.